Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to be doing a book talk for Crown of Midnight. This is book 2 in a series. I've already done a book talk for book 1, Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas, already on this channel. So you can go watch that, come back, Crown of Midnight, here we are. Like I said, it's book 2. So I read book 1 when I was in 6th grade. And I picked up this book, Crown of Midnight, and I got to part 2 and I put it down. I finished part 1. If you know what part that ends, I got to that part and I put it down, and then I didn't pick it back up until I was doing the dive into the ACOTAR series, and I'm doing it this for all of that. So again, because of that, I only consider this um, half reread, half not. Let's get into it. So spoilers ahead. Okay, I have so many notes. I have 5 pages of notes. I have this whole thing is simply just like all the FMC's names in it. I thought that like the list that the king gave her was going to be more important, so I was writing down any names that we got with the location that they were from, because I'm like, this might all add up. It still might. I don't know. Um, I have a whole list of character names that was too small. I should have added more, I guess, areas for characters besides this. I didn't know that there was going to be so many characters. And unfortunately, I would write down a character and then it would be like, that was irrelevant for me to have written down their name. Right. Right. So I wrote down their name and then how we know them and if they will still active in the story. I also feel like in the first book, I just felt like Fleetfoot had to be a magic dog. So I have like the name, breed, and magic question mark for him or for the dog. Um, because I love dogs, and I feel like this dog might be a magic dog. Um, okay. How I would describe kind of go not even going into part 2, but this is part 1 and part 2. The most interesting character that we were with out of the 3 was Dorian, because at least he was doing something. There was like a mystery there, and so I found that all to be um, well, interesting. Hmm. I may have been right. If I may have, I mean I was. Selena, aka Aelin, and Dorian, aka Dorian, are both fairies. And I know I posted on Insta before, they're like, oh no, they'll not, they just have something in them. Multiple times in this book, the character says that they are. Okay, they are fae. Now, are they Vogue? I don't know. I have a theory. What if the whole ion thing that we have, which is like fairies don't like them, what if uh ion doesn't do anything to them, but it does for Vogue? What if it's like that? And over so long, the two myths have just like gone together. Anyways, I find Dorian to be interesting out of the 3 out of right now. I am interested to see if like what happens for Aelin. The lore with Sam, I'm like, huh, okay. And especially now I'm like, okay, so that whole thing feels um completed. But I also wonder if Sam was just fridged. Uh, if Sam was killed off solely to advance Aelin's plot or Selena's plot. Well, I'm reading Assassin's Blade, so we'll we'll see. Magic items. I don't like this magic talking door. I don't like more. I don't like it. I don't like it. You know how some people feel when there's a talking dog? That's how I feel about a talking door handle. It gives the labyrinth, but not in a good labyrinth way. Um, I don't like it. I don't. I don't. Anyways, we're gonna move on from that. Um, the king is collecting rings. Those three rings. So my idea that maybe the king is collecting rings to become a high lord, so far that is not disproven. And I am going to point out my statement of I think everyone's a fairy until proven otherwise or to proven human, that no one has been proven to be a human. In fact, I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like after learning the whole thing with the Vogue, I'm like, wait, is the question not that everyone is a fairy until proven human, or is it everyone is a Vogue until proven otherwise? I don't know. I don't think any of them are human, I'll say that, because they have magic. And in my mind, they all had mental stuff. The entire kingdom, mental magic. Mental magic. I still think that this is during the Thousand Years. That is referenced in ACOTAR. I still believe that. We're gonna get into it. Okay, I looked at maps. I think Gwendolyn, because it's not mentioned now, I think that's Prithian. I think Highborn is the southern continent because I did look at the map for that one. I also think that this location that they are in, I think that is the French northern place for it in the Fairylands. That's my humble opinion. So and I think that because this is all before ACOTAR, I feel like that's why the names are not the same because it's been like so long. Um, I think the idea, or not idea, I think the way that uh, Dorian's magic has come forth, I thought that was very interesting. I would like to know what the king's reaction would be because he did stop it all but for his bloodline, but I'm unsure if he knew he stopped it for all his bloodline. Um, I was shocked when we learned that our FMC, Selena Aylan, whatever we want to call her, is only 18. I thought she was 20 because I thought she was 19 in Throne of Glass. I understand it's because I was reading Iron Flame, and so my brain just forgot that. And also ACOTAR Faye was 19, so I think that's when my brain got a little confused there, and also the passage of time as well. Um, like they say they're resistant or magic resistant is iron, right? Meanwhile, iron teeth, witches, but also Selena has like no problem being around it. I am confused when they say shifting, which makes me think, are we talking like werewolves? Because I know it's connected like to other. So I'm like, is this like werewolves? Are they like literally shifting, or is this like Tamlin's magic of like him shifting forms? I'm confused on that. I like us seeing that Dorian's morals are actually changing, and it's not just like change. It's like we are actually seeing it. I like the tracing of the like lineage, and I like how it like one person was doing it, sure, but it ended up helping all three, or at least like yeah, it helped all three of them in the end. So it should like there were three lines ended up coming back together. I thought that was pretty cute, cool, all that stuff. Uneasy truce, but mentioned no wall. Like it says like there was an uneasy truce, which could mean after 1,000 years there was no wall. So I'm like, I don't. I still think it's before. We learn Vogue, which are demons. The Vogue, demons who stole Fae to breed with them. Witches are the offspring of them, and there's two different kinds. There's Crescent dynasty, which take after the Fey ancestors or have more Fey magic or Fey blood. And then you have the Iron Teeth, uh, which they're still witches, but they take over their demon side, and their blood magic is more demon. When talking to Yellow Legs, I think that's what her name. Yeah, the leader of the Yellow Leg clan. She says, like, is there a difference between Fae and Vogue? Which is why I'm questioning, like, is that just running together, right? Is there an actual difference? Um, we get more stuff on the Galanithius, which was started by the first fake King Brandon, Lord of Tesserin, that's also the name of Aelin. That's her last name. But the family fell, and I think Aelin would be the queen because she was the Ale, and if their parents are dead, that means Aelin's the queen, which means Selena is the queen of Teresian. Her cousin Edion Ashiel, who is a general in the king's army and the king's protege. So I think Adolin and Aelin are going to be like best friends, um, or at least significant together. Um, I wonder what did the queen say to, or so Elena said to Nehemina, the princess. Um, And I was like, oh gosh, is Kale gonna have so much guilt for not telling Selena about what's happening? You know, but then I was like, it wasn't the king, and then I was like, it's a grave, and then I'm not there yet. So I already read part one of this book before, so I was not shocked. I knew it was gonna happen. I I wonder if she knew exactly who Selena, if Selena was Aelin, because she kept on pushing her basically to act like a queen. Um, Dorian said KO with the magic, keeps mentioning awakening, and um, like it, awakening and shifting. So I'm like, what is this? What is this? That's not how. Well, granted, well, I mean, no, because Feyre at least spoilers for ACOTAR. Feyre at the end of it doesn't mention as if she's shifting forms. I mean, she did technically, but like that's just because he saved her. Like, I'm confused, right? Um, I was trying to figure out who this witch was, and I was so certain that it was someone. Um, Spoilers for ACOTAR. I was thinking either Anwen the Bone Carver or the Soil. Uh, I was like, this witch likes chicken, and then I was like, is this Fae, Vogue, Angel, Demon, right? Because Demon, I was like, Angel is implied, probably they all. I don't know, we'll see. And then lives are bad for business. And I'm like, is this the soil? Because the soil, I think, likes chicken in ACOTAR. So at least that witch was not the soil. Um, but I am not convinced that the soil couldn't be a Vogue. Catalan, I thought from the very beginning like she needed saving or she needs help, right? And when I say saving, I mean she needed to have that person taken away from her or her taken away from him. Because I'm like, there's so much magic here, or like she needs to mentally do it on her own. Somehow I want her to break free of it. I want her to be free. I want her to be free. Right. And from the very beginning, I didn't feel like I was a girl boss. I was just like, did she do something against Selena, our main character? Yeah, but so did the Duke, and I feel like the Duke was more important, like more, like more active in that. Right? She was just a jealous girl that got in over her head, and then us finding out that she was purposely being manipulated, purposely being, her mind being messed with. I was like, okay, how consensual was it from the jump then, right? And then going to this book, it's just like because of her family lineage, and I'm like, she needs to get revenge. Catelyn needs to get revenge. I really hope so. Um, but she's going to Mormeth to marry the Duke. So maybe she'll see that. Um, or we'll see that wherever Mormeth is. We also have someone from uh, May, and then they'll hit, yeah. So I wonder who the girl in the Calicula's mine is. Chapter 20 or chapter 33. I wonder if that is going to be a huge supporter. She gets mentioned again, but I don't think that it gets mentioned that she was taken care of. Just that it wasn't Selena. Um, I wrote down the poem just so that way I have it. So this is the poem. Um, Because, I mean, I don't think it was figured out completely. So I feel like that would probably come into play. My copy is on page 280. Uh, let's talk about the wards in the magic system. Um, so the wards, and this comes from, the witch again. So the ward governs and forms the foundation of the world that they are on. The Vogue broke through the gate, demons from another realm, and then Gwendolyn or Faye, so Prithian, right? Maybe Prithian, fought against them but failed. I don't think personally that ACOTAR series would end on a sad thing. So this says that if Prithian uh, is Gwendolyn and this comes after, then that would mean that ACOTAR would be heading towards this and then they failed. And the Vogue took a piece of the Ward Gate and split it into three, and the poem is a map. And the king has at least one, which was in the crown. He hid one in the crown. That was so okay. We have to take these very literally. Okay, okay. Um, there was three. There was the Beaks, Blue Bloods, and Yellow Leg Clan for the Iron Teeth at least. They will come for retribution. And those creatures that they keep on making, successorial type creatures, because they're all bone. I don't know. I feel bad for them. The clock tower was a key question mark. I'm unsure on that. Let's get into the end of it. I did not see it coming. Okay, actually, I can't even say that. I didn't trust that Archer was saying the truth. Like, I thought Archer was probably more in it and was not as, like, I don't know anything, believe me, type of a thing. Like, I thought he was definitely in it or just lying to protect his people. I did not know or realize just how much lying the man was doing. And I wrote I trusted Archer and circled it every time or multiple times whenever Archer would say something that would make me go, I trusted you. I said, not my dog, don't make us John Wick. That's self-explanatory. And then, oh look, Dorian and FMC Arthe. So I was right on that. I'm concerned of. So Dorian made a comment saying like, "Oh, Aelin would she be my bride?" Is that him speculating, or is that foreshadow? Well, I guess we'll see. I love Fleetfoot, but I'm like, Grilly Pop, this ain't the fight for you. This ain't the fight for you. Like, I was having Crown of Candy in my mind. If you know, you know. That is my thoughts and opinions on it. It's mostly like me questioning things. Like, one book two in a long fantasy series. So like I don't really understand a lot of things and we're getting introduced to magic. Um I got Lannister vibes. Not I got Lannister impressions from the Westfalls because okay, I wanna say it. Dorian believing that like in what a knight or a good um, knight's guard, not knight's king's guard would be, and then having that ruined, and then having to suffer and figure out what it really means to be a king's guard, um, and going through a character development like that, especially spoilers for for A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones, it being like the father wanting Jaime Lannister to return back to Casterly Rock because they didn't like the brother for whatever reason. I went, this is giving me, like, I'm not saying it's plagiarism, I'm not saying it's anything, I'm just saying this is the vibes that it gave me, because then we have K.O. Westfall, dad trying to get him to come back home, dad wanting him to take on the throne or whatever it is. We're not really supposed to be liking the dad, I guess, I don't know. Because the brother takes after the mother, and I guess is a scholar, Tywin, um, Tyrion is also a scholar, and then you have the whole thing with like Jaime, like in that like grappling with what does it mean to be a on the King's Guard or all that kind of stuff, right? So I'm not saying it's plagiarism, and if people are saying that, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I can see inspiration for it, um, and that is how I'll leave that. We gotta take care of this Duke. Okay, I have an idea. So this is gonna be kind of spoilers for ACOTAR again, and um, this book, obviously. I think these three keys will need to be like, but I think this whole story is to get these three keys and put them back in the gate so that way like they are all saved. That's my thoughts, right? And I think how they're gonna do that is they're gonna need to put it in the land or keep a way for it to be continuing on. And so I think uh, three keys. I think they're gonna put it in Prithian, and basically Fey magic is gonna get nuked and put into the land and make high lords, which are more powerful with all these keys inside of the land, absorbed into it. That's how we get the cauldron as well. And okay, the cauldron and the land, I think the magic comes from these keys. And I think that the land and the cauldron then makes high lords, and that is how nature balances out the fact that there are keys around there, and that is how they protect them from demons coming in. And high lords are the product of that, and that's why they're power, right? And the abilities that we're seeing in these Fae, why they seem so weird, is them, well, the magic being taken away from them, kind of, I guess. Like, them kind of being neutralized a little bit, um, and then put into the magic High Lords, making them more powerful. I don't know. I'm confused on that. Okay. My thoughts for how this series are going to go. So spoilers. I think this huge series, this full series, is taking the rings, putting them into the land, locking off demons and other stuff from entering the world, right? In Prithian, in the world. That's how it's going to end. I think Prithian is then taking over from that, and I think they're going to take these keys and they're going to open the gates again and be like, we are here, we can deal with it, right? Integration for different species, right? And then Crescent City is what's going to come after it. That's the only way I can see 3 happy endings. um, that's my thoughts and opinions of Crown of Midnight. I hope that you have enjoyed that. And if I'm like really, really wrong, I hope it's like really enjoyable being like, oh my gosh, you don't even know. But that right now is my thoughts and opinions. I'm on Assassin's Blade. Okay, goodbye.